I've been declaring to anyone who would listen that I am a dangerous woman. Now, declaring that boldly like this still feels a bit dangerous, but it also feels right. At this time in my life, about to be 77, I realize that I've got nothing to lose, nothing to prove, and I'm more impatient about everything. The true, slow pace towards equality, the rise in sexism, racism, violence against women and girls. And I'm angry too at the climate deniers who are stealing the future from our children and grandchildren. Friends, we are living in dangerous times, and such times call for all of us to be more dangerous. The first quarter of high school was rough for me. I was not prepared for the transition between middle school and high school, and of course COVID did not help with any of that. But one of the things that's kept me going is my favorite line from this speech. My women friends are my source of renewable energy. And this is very true for me. And it's true for you too, whether you realize it or not. Your friends are the ones who keep you going. You are the one who keeps your friends going. We're stronger together. I love how Pat Mitchell is both telling and proving this. In dangerous times, call for dangerous women. Now, what do I mean by this? I don't mean being feared. It's not that kind of dangerous. But I do mean being more fearless. I mean speaking the truth when silence is a lot safer. I mean speaking up in rooms for those who aren't present, especially those rooms where decisions are made about our lives. We need to be in those rooms, showing up for one another, challenging the cultural construct that encourages us, especially women and girls, to compete, compare, and criticize. We have to end this and speak out against the policies and the politics that divide and diminish our collective power as a global community of women and the men who stand with us. Becoming dangerous also means embracing whatever risks are necessary to create a world where women and girls are safe at their work and in their homes, where all voices are represented and respected, all votes counted, the planet protected. And this is all possible because we're ready for this. We're better prepared than any other generation before us, better resourced, better connected. In many parts of the world, we're living longer than ever. Women over 65 are among the fastest growing population on Earth, with the potential for becoming the most powerful too. What a change this represents. Older women like me not that long ago were considered useless or crazy. We were valued for caregiving and grandmothering, but we were pushed aside and expected to retire to our rocking chairs. Women on the dangerous side of 60 are not retiring. We are rewiring, taking all that we know and have done, and that is a lot, to redefine what age looks like, can do, can accomplish. But becoming dangerous isn't about becoming a certain age, because at each end of the age spectrum, brave women and girls are stepping up, taking the risk to create change. I became a risk taker early in my life's journey. I had to, or have my life defined by the limitations of a girl growing up in the rural South, with no money, no influence, and no connections. But what wasn't limited was my curiosity about the world around me, a world beyond the small minds of the still segregated South, a world that I glimpsed in the newsreels at the one movie theater in town, and a world that got a lot closer to me when I met Miss Shirley Roontree, my 8th grade English teacher. From the moment she walked into the room, her high heels clicking, she was a woman in charge, with perfect hair, signature red lips, colorfully coordinated head to toe. I wanted to be her. Gratefully, she became my first mentor and helped me become me. With her support, I got a scholarship to college, the first in my family, and landed at a big state university right in the middle of two great social justice movements: civil rights for African Americans and equal rights for women. I joined both with enthusiasm, only to discover that my newfound activism and my fermenting feminism would often be in direct conflict with my deeply embedded need to please and be popular. My first job as a college teacher, I broke the rules and I encouraged students to join me in the protest marches. And when I found out that my male colleague with the same experience in education was being paid more than me, I mounted a personal protest. My raise was denied with the excuse that he had a family to support. So did I as a single mom. But I dropped my protest to keep my job. Today, millions of women are making this compromise, staying in their jobs without equal pay for equal work. As one of the first women on television in the 70s, I was warned that focusing on women's stories would limit my career opportunities. And maybe it did. But I got to produce and host breakthrough programming for women, while at the same time remaining silent about sexual harassment and listening to consultants who were hired to advise me about my appearance. Become a blonde. I did. Lower your voice. I tried. Lower your necklines. I did not. I struggled to find the right balance between being a leader for women and not being entirely defined as a woman leader. But today, I'm proud to be known as a woman leader. As an activist, advocate, feminist, and as a newly declared dangerous woman, I'm caring less about what others say and saying more clearly what I think and feel. And let me be clear, I acknowledge my privilege in being able to do that, to speak my truth, and to stand here before you today to talk to you about women and power. No, I did not say empowered. I don't think we're waiting to be empowered. I think we have power. What we need are more opportunities to claim it, to use it, and then to share it. And yes, I've heard, as I'm sure you have, those stories that begin with, the worst boss I ever had was a woman. And we can all name women leaders who've not made us proud. But we can change all of that with a simple but brilliant idea I first heard from a risk-taking, dangerous congresswoman named Bella Abzug. Bella said, in the 21st century, women will change the nature of power rather than power changing the nature of women. From the moment I heard that, I thought, this is our call to action. This is our greatest opportunity. So as we move forward in our lives and at work, let's change the nature of power by dismantling some of the barriers that remain for those who follow, by advocating and agitating for fairer and truer and more equal representation in every room and at every table. Now be warned, if you advocate for a woman for an open position or promotion, you could be charged with playing the woman card or the race card if advocating for a woman of different ethnicity. But I say, dangerous women and our allies, it's time to play the woman's card, the race card. Play all our cards, not to win the power game, but to lead to better outcomes for everyone. And it's time, too, to discard that scarcity theory, the one that says, there's only room for one of us at the top, so protect your turf, don't make friends or allies. Changing the nature of power transforms protect your turf into share your turf. It encourages coalitions and alliances. It strengthens and sustains friendships. My women friends are my source of renewable energy. So are my mentors, my champions, my supporters, my sponsors, in all of the ways that we can and do show up for one another. We can be our sources of renewable energy. And along the way, we need to take better care of ourselves. And here, I am not the best role model. I don't exercise regularly. I don't meditate. But I do live aerobically because I believe you can't be dangerous from the sidelines. There's just too much to be done. So let's elevate each other's stories and ideas. Let's practice civility and let's seek the truth. Yes, we have all that we need to move our communities forward. And the best thing that we have, and the thing that we must remember, is to be there for each other. We will move forward together, willing now to take more risk, to be more fearless, to speak up, speak out, and show up for one another. At this time in my life, I am not passing on my torch. I am holding it higher than ever, boldly, brilliantly, inviting you to join me in its dangerous light.